I don't know what I'm gonna name this video yet, but I'm lazy. I don't feel like I'm running in the back, put a title up in there. But hold on, wait a minute. Let me turn this down here. Hold on. Okay, I ain't gonna worry about it doing that no more. But let's go and hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's go to what's that thing called? Making of a Slave. The Making of a Slave, Willie Lynch. That's where you buy one off of Amazon. Okay. Okay, let's look at. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male at versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark skinned slaves versus the light skinned slaves. This is a powerful one to read. This is how we get into this thing called like this colorism thing, because debate is so much controversy, because this started with the white slave masters when they brainwashed our people, and this is something that the Adventist church needs to read. This is something they need to read this and they need to compare it with the Bible. They need to look at Deuteronomy 28 and all of the curses and stuff. If I got a chance and the opportunity to present itself, I will tell them the truth. Now, I used to attend the Seventh Day Adventist Church. I did. I used to attend it. This was decades ago. I'm 50, 51 now. I'm going to be 52 in July of 2029. I joined the movement when I was 17. I was seeking. I was seeking for something that I didn't think that I was seeking, but I was actually seeking because I always wanted to know what was right. That's the way I was. I always wanted to know what was right. So I felt like I always had an open mind to things, you know. So it was a long journey with me finding it. So this is how we're gonna get it. We're gonna talk about the light skin thing versus the dark skin thing. And this is just a poem showing you how it originated, you know what I'm saying? By Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch, The Untold Story, 1712. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark skinned slave versus the light skinned slaves, and the light skinned slaves versus the dark skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary for your slave trust and depending on us. The most the most loved, respected, and trust only us. Talking about the slave masters, I'm thinking. Gentlemen, these kikes are the keys to controlling. Use them. Have your wives and children. Use them. Never miss an opportunity. If you use If used intensively for 1 year, the slave themselves will remain perpetually. That means forever. Distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Mhm. Let's make a slave. Let's make a slave. Okay, let's go down. Let's make a. Okay, all of this here is based upon let's make a slave. Let's start the cardinal principles for making a Negro, making a Negro. Let's see what that's talking about. For fear that our future generation may not understand the principles of breaking both horse and man, we lay down the art. For if we are to sustain our basic economy, we must break and tie both of the beasts together, the nigger and the horse. We understand that short range planning and econ- economic results in periodic chaos, so that to avoid turmoil in the economy, it requires us to have breadth and depth and, and deep and long range comprehensive planning, articulation, both skill and sharp prescription. We lay down the following principles for long range comprehensive economic planning. Both horse and the nigger are no good to the economy, and the wild are natural state. The wild are the natural state. Both must be broken and tied together for ordinary productions. Three, for the ordinary future, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the young offspring. Four, both must be crossbreeded. Talking about making them the family generation, the blood own bloodline have each other. So this is where you get the molestation from. This is where the beginning of all this stuff originated from. Both must be crossbreeded to produce a variety of divisions of labor. Both must be taught to respond to a particular new language. Talking about English, psychological and physical instructions of contaminant, contamin, contamin, contaminant, contaminated must be created for both. We hold the above six cardinal principles as tra- traces as terms to be self-evident based on the following discourse concerning the economic of breaking and tying the horse and the nigger together, all inclusive of the six principles laid down above. Note, neither principle alone will suffer for good economics. All principles must be employed for the ordinary good of the nation. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or natural nigger, a natural nigger is dangerous. Dang, I had to pause that. That means when you're in your natural state, they cannot use you as an Uncle Tom. They can't use you to be a house nigger like they got most people. Because see, when you actually is for your people, they label you as a danger, as a threat. Why you think they, if you say certain things, if you go too far on these videos, they'll shut your YouTube video down and say, oh, you violated the terms of YouTube. No, you was exposing too much shit. No, you was just exposing too much of the bullshit that the so-called white race the slave masters do. The modern day slave masters today would be is the same people. They all still the same people. It's no different. No, neither principles alone will suffer for good economics. All principles must be employed for the orderly good of the nations. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or natural nigger is dangerous, even if captured for they will have a tendency to seek their customary freedom. In doing so, might kill you in your sleep. You cannot rest. Yeah. Now it was one that stuck out at me. I can't remember what it was. Okay. When we when we do it, okay. I think the one that stood out is the one that talks about let's make a slave. It was one in there in particular where they say they want to use the light skin against the dark skin and all that type of stuff. Let's look at the let's get go to a scripture in the Bible and look up one of the definitions of putting the light skin versus against the dark skin. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. We're going to read verses 54 through 55 through 56. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy 28 verses 54. Let's start there. So that the man that is tender amongst you and very delicate. Before our people got out of their natural state, like they said, the natural horse and the natural Negro is dangerous. Why? Because they can't get you to be the best slave in America is the one that don't know and they not aware that they are slave. Those are the main ones that white folks or white supremacy use on the so-called police force. Yeah. So the man that is tender amongst you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. That's going into that, a lot of that talking about competing. They want our people to compete against who's the lightest and who is the darkest, and he's more lighter and he's more darker and he's more browner, or he's less browner. I'm more browner than you. I'm more dark. I'm lighter than you. I'm brown. I'm not dark, and all that kind of stuff. You say I'm red. I'm red color. I'm a reddish color, whatever. So the man that is tender amongst you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. That's competing. That's all of that pie tied in together. And toward the wife of his bosom, that means he gonna be evil toward his children, toward his brother, and he gonna be evil toward his wife, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. That means he ain't taking care of them. Single parent household, the fathers ain't in the home. That's what that's going into. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left in him, and in the siege and in the straitness, wherein thy enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman amongst you, the tender and delicate woman. The woman, she was very sweet. She was very soft-spoken. She wasn't this loudmouth woman as what you see today. All of that. A woman that don't listen. A woman that wants to overtalk the man. The woman that wants to overtalk you. You see what I'm saying? No. A woman that requires more than what she even, and she don't even fit all of the qualifications what she asking for. The man got to have this, the man got to have all of that, but she not meeting the qualification of a wife. Just like they feel that a man want a wife, but he's not meeting all the qualifications of a husband that want the woman to respect him and stuff like that. The tender and delicate woman amongst you, which will not avenge to set the sole of foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. The eye shall be Listen, the tender and delicate woman amongst you which will not bend to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicate. That means the woman was so delicate, carried so much pride. The man had so much pride in the woman. He wouldn't even let his woman walk on the ground. He would literally pick his woman up and tote his woman. That's how much caring and love that they had for the black woman and the Hispanic and Native American woman. This is how much love and care that the man, the black and Hispanic man had for the black woman. You see what I'm saying? But now it's not like that. Which will being to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. That means, man, niggas ain't shit, all that type of stuff. All niggas ain't shit. I don't need no man. Niggas ain't shit. He ain't making enough money for me. He got to be making six figures. This and that and the third. Is that your car? Yeah, I know I'm talking about gold digger pranks. All of those things are curses to let you know who fit the curse and who are the real Israelites in the Bible. The fake Ashkenazi Jews over in Israel is not the real Jews. It says, and toward her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that comes out from between her feet. That means the children that she give childbirth to. The daughter can't stand the mother, and the mother can't stand the daughter. The mother gets into it so fast with the daughter, she put the daughter out. The daughter saying she can't stand it. I hate that bitch and all this kind of stuff. And she saying I can't stand that little bitch. I do this to that, stuff like that, And toward her young one that comes out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for one of all things secretly. That means she's gonna put the man on child support and gonna want money out the man. She gonna eat them for one of all things. That means for everything that she want from the government, like WIC, um, government assistance, food stamps, and stuff like that. That's why they got this thing called, okay, they come to the house and they see, and the people, the authorities come there and they check the house out. What you call these kind of people? They call them child protected services or something. If they see you got more than one child, I might kind of have it all. If they see a man in the house, they won't give the woman nothing or something like that, from what I heard. Y'all help me out in the comment section with this. Yeah, this is what this is going into. And toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly, in the siege and the straitness wherein thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. The Bible says in Deuteronomy 28:58, if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, the Torah, the laws of God, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, like COVID-19 and COVID, the plague that was a COVID that he sent. Yeah, so the man said the man, not only the woman was tender and delicate, he said her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, toward her son, and toward her daughter, which comes out from between her feet. And he says, I, in verse 54, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. Yeah. So that's what these texts pretty much going into, man. This is the reason why when even in the churches and stuff, you got this shit is in the churches. The black woman can't stand the black man, neither can the black man stand the black woman. They hate, they hate, they talk about each other. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out now because it looks like I'm falling asleep. I'm gonna come back a little bit later and we're gonna talk more about this here. And who fit these curses as Israelites in the Bible? the Black and Hispanic and Native Americans. Yeah, that's right. The Black and the Hispanic and Native American people are the ones who fit the curses in Deuteronomy, which will be the real Jews. That's what the video I call it. The Black and Hispanic and Native American people would be the real Israelites according to would be the real Jews according to the Bible. Now I'm out. I'll be back.